Good morning to you, Anne. Bring us up to date then. There's a lot that's gone on in the past 24 hours or so. What do we know about the incident that happened?
Well, what we really know is that there are two readings of it, and the government has sort of angled on one, but we're not quite sure yet. The perpetrator doesn't fit your normal terrorist portrait. He is 69 years old. He's a former metro driver. He lived in a flat alone in the center of Paris. His own 90-year-old father says that he's crazy. He collected guns and managed to get some in France where the gun laws are very strict. And he came out of 1 year time in jail only 2 weeks ago, and that was already for attacking a camp of migrants. So all of this points to a racist murder. But at the same time, this Kurdish center is a focus point for the Kurdish community in Paris. The Kurdish community was very angry yesterday because they felt that they hadn't been protected, even though exactly 10 years ago, 3 Kurds who were active in their freedom movements were attacked not very far away from the same place. And the result is that you had unrest in the streets in Paris yesterday, with Kurds saying, where was the French police? Why are we not protected? Kurds have not had a nation ever since the end of the First World War, where the map that was redrawn by the great powers omitted to create Kurdistan. And there is also the question that we have seen in other instances Turkish attacks deliberately against a Kurdish center, so that could be it as well.
Yeah, and indeed. And I mean, I was on air yesterday when these protests and riots really broke out, and we had some shocking live video footage from both sides of the incident, actually, from just behind the police lines and then just behind where these protesters were. And it looked incredibly volatile. What is Paris like today? I understand that you are in Paris now, is that right? What is it like today? Is it a city kind of coming to terms with what happened, or depressingly?
I'm outside Paris now.
You're outside Paris. Oh, well, there you go. You're not fled, I hope. But what's it like?
Not in I'm sorry that on Christmas Eve I just didn't stay in the riot area, but, it wasn't planned. No, but seriously, the thing about Paris is that it has become, in recent decades, to 1 or 2 decades, it's become much more volatile with practically any kind of peaceful protest that doesn't end like that. And the young people who yesterday expressed their anger are the same young people who grew up in France and who've seen every other group, unions, yellow vests, etc., express their anger. And there was also this feeling that they were being victimized, because you have very few demonstrations in France which start by saying, where is the police? We want more police. So that's slightly different. But no, unfortunately, it's become very frequent in Paris to have those kinds of riots. It was not. They were not throwing stuff at the police, but it's degenerated because that has been tolerated too often in France for the past 20 years, I should say.